Hi there. This is me, Madame Onca, and this is Totally Tea and Tarot. Today we are going to be starting working our way through the fours in the tarot deck. And as has been our habit of late, we're also talking a little bit about tea. The tea for today, according to the correspondences determined by the authors of the Herbal Tarot. For today, we're doing the Four of Wands, and that is FENNEL. I happen to love fennel, and it is everything really in that sort of fennel anise licorice family. Fennel, as you may know, is a digestif. It's a digestive. If you've got colicky tootie babies, a little bit of fennel water, cold fennel tea in a baby bottle will really help them get the wind out, if you know what I'm saying. And the same is true for adults, essentially, which is why when you are eating in an Indian restaurant, there's always that dish of the of fennel seeds with the little candy in it. That's specifically to help you digest. So, gotta love the fennel. It's great for all those things. On its own, it doesn't make very strong tea, so you may want to add something licoricey or a honey to sort of boost the flavor. But me, again, I love it. You name it. Ouzo, sambuca, all of that sort of thing. Love it. But that brings us to the Four of Wands. So what we've been doing in this series is we have been walking our way through a tea and a card. And in the course of that, I've been bringing out 3 different decks each time to experience a little bit and explore the similarities and the differences in the imagery. So today we are working with my deck, which is the World Spirit Tarot. Here's the 2nd edition. So here's the Four of Wands. Also, we've got the Rider Waite, also known as the Rider Waite Smith. And this is one of the old plaid-backed editions because nothing says occult mysticism like like tightly woven plaid. So there's the Pamela Coleman Smith version. And this is a deck I haven't brought out before, the Light and Shadow Tarot. I love this deck. In fact, I was both thrilled and demoralized when it first came out because I was in the process of working on my block print-based tarot, which to my knowledge was unique. And I was like, somebody who's already a genius has already made a brilliant book and wonderful art with linoleum. Once I got over myself and realized there's nothing new under the sun since before the pyramids were built, I was thrilled. I can't say enough good things about this deck. Brian Williams and Michael Gepford wrote this together. It's basically a sort of a hybrid of the Thoth deck or the Tote deck and Rider Waite Smith. It's really great. The art is very compelling. The book is also really good. I have to say the cards themselves, a little on the flimsy side, but this is not really a review of this deck. But we're going to work with this one today. So wands, here we have, detect a theme here, which is sort of foliage and festivity. There's a sense of celebration, really, is what it is. This fours describe stability. Of course, it's the tabletop. So numerically in the deck, when we come to fours, there's always a sense of sort of a plateau, like whatever's going on in this particular suit. In this case, it is willpower, manifestation, it is getting stuff done. So this 4 describes a sense of stability. And it's as if, you've reached a certain level of accomplishment and it's time to pat yourself on the back and appreciate what you've done. And there's a sense also of the community coming together to celebrate that. I actually did a book cover based on this for Llewellyn Once Upon a Time, a million years ago, because people really seem to resonate with that sort of Beltane theme. So there's also a sense of not only celebration and community, but a cyclic nature to it. I mean, Beltane, of course, has that May 1st, that fertility element, but there's just a generative impulse, you might say, if you want to put it in more dainty terms. When this comes up relative to relationships and so forth, too, it can also describe being on the brink of stepping off to the next place. It's really sort of like, ta-da, it's a party. So here we see this version. I like the little dog. I don't know why couldn't even tell you why that little dog's there, but I guess there's that sense that celebration is not a uniquely human phenome. So here's the traditional one upon which it is based. Same thing. There's a sense of archway. It could almost be a wedding or a community celebration. I just wanted something that was a little less heteronormative, I guess you might say. And I have heard that there's research that indicates that this is an actual castle in the area where Pamela Coleman Smith liked to do a lot of her drawing. I don't know why the yellow, to me, I get that it's warmth manifestation. Of course, wands are the element of fire. The seems a little intense to me to have yellow sky, but you know, every artist does their own, and that's funny given that I've got these crazy yellowish paintings behind me. So there's the Pamela Colman Smith version. And again, we see this one. Now in there, you can see distinctly that they have made bold choices in terms of this. I love this image with the sort of circular nature. We see Venus, and I'm going to say that's, oh my gosh, Aries, my tongue is tied right now. There's a sense of digging in and getting stuff done. They describe, in this deck, they describe this as a sense of harvest. Most of the time, I wouldn't say that it usually describes harvest so much as an initial level of accomplishment. Like everything is in the ground, you know, the crops are in the ground, everyone has survived the winter, it's time to throw down and be excited, you know, rather than the pumpkins have come up, that sort of thing. So there's really not a ton to say about this card. You know, the fast version is when it comes up, you've got stuff done. Oops. Good on you. And take the time to pat yourself on the back, because after this comes the fives. And the fives are a little bit intense in all of the cards. It's sort of like the stability that has been established in your fours. All the tables get flipped in the air so that we can establish a new norm. There's an element of, you know, sort of mild revolution that is described in the fives. So go to your dance parties while you may. I guess that's it for today. So yeah, Four of Wands, Fennel tea, and of course you can share with me any questions, concerns, or notes that you have. Again, I highly recommend this deck, which is the Light and Shadow by Brian Williams and Michael Gepford. I'm also taking folks on a tour in Tuscany, where we're going to go to the Tarot Garden in Italy this summer. So if you want to do that with us, by all means, look me up on the internets. Totally Tea and Tarot. And on Facebook, it is World Spirit Tarot with Lauren Onca O'Leary. Bye.